Hello people, so it approximately feels like 5 years since I did a video last time and sat down. I've done, obviously uploaded a lot of Disneyland Paris stuff. Hope you all enjoyed them. This year I think I'm going to continue doing the 2-week upload, just because I feel like that doesn't put pressure on me, although now I've said it out loud, maybe it will. But I like doing this. It gives me time to breathe, give me time to think, make sure everything is, you know. The title of the video, this is autumn/winter phase, because there was not enough for autumn. There was not enough for autumn and there was not enough for winter by themselves. I kind of grabbed that. I mean, there's still 2 months technically of winter left, but I may do a winter/spring. Maybe. I don't know if I'm going to continue to do this favourite thing, by the way. If my editing skills are up to the standard, this should be up a couple of days after New Year's, so Happy New Year! 2018! This is crazy. So, let's get into my favourites. Let's start with movies. Kingsman 2. I love Kingsman. Kingsman 2 I felt wasn't as strong as the first Kingsman, but that's because Kingsman, there was nothing like it before, and so Kingsman 2 was obviously going to be a little bit because it doesn't have the same impact as the first one. I loved it, however, mainly because I'm kind of in love with Taron Egerton. I dream of our life together and how he'll whisk me away and how we can just watch Disney movies together because he's a big fan of animation. So that's my dream in life. There you go. The next one is Goodbye Christopher Robin. Now, this film nearly broke me and stars Margot Robbie and Domhnall Gleeson, Kelly MacDonald as well. This film, like, I've never hated Margot Robbie as much in my life, like the creation of Winnie the Pooh and how that came around, and it was through A.A. Milne telling stories to his son Christopher Robin, and their journey into the 100-Acre Wood, and it was also about A.A. Milne dealing with his PTSD, and basically how Christopher Robin Milne basically didn't have a childhood, because as soon as people found out he was real, and the exploitation of this small boy who then went to boarding school and got ridiculed and bullied, and he then went off to war. It makes you feel so heartbroken that he's brought so much joy to so many people and he did not share that same joy. It's all because his mother exploited him. But I did enjoy watching it. It broke me inside. Thor Ragnarok. Oh my god, Thor is so good. I think it's the best Thor film. I love the first Thor. About Dark World. Thor Ragnarok is the best film. Taika Waititi directed it. He is New Zealand. He's a Kiwi. Oh my god, so funny. He's basically known for filming independent, like indie humor, comedy, that's the word, indie comedy films, and you can tell felt like an indie film with cool effects, but it was basically a comedy film with some action instead of like an action comedy. It was definitely a comedy film with bits of action, and you don't really have to watch any other Thor film to understand what's happening in Thor Ragnarok. I mean, I would. Why would you watch Thor Ragnarok without watching at least the first Thor? But oh my god, it was so good. Jumanji, the new Jumanji, I was very dubious going in because I love the original Jumanji. I grew up with the original Jumanji. Robin Williams was phenomenal in it. This it's not even a sequel, it's kind of like a continuation of the universe, if anything. So instead of a board game, it gets turned into a video game, and oh, it's just so good. It's so funny. Dwayne Johnson, need I say more? But Jack Black, for me, makes the entire film. He plays a 16-year-old girl far too convincingly. Oh, I just only have positive things to say. The Greatest Showman. Now, I watched Evan Edinger's video on why he didn't like The Greatest Showman, and I don't agree. I loved it so much. Evan made a comment about basically saying how the music was modern and it was set in like the 19th, it was set in the 19th century, and I held back from commenting, going, so rap music represents the 1700s, how? You know, Hamilton. But no, The Greatest Showman is very loosely based, because P.T. Barnum was basically trash, on P.T. Barnum, who is basically the grandfather of this Bisbee show now. He created the first circus / freak show, and that's kind of, it's very loosely based. It's kind of how he got a bunch of freaks, but it's mainly the music for me. The story is a bit weak, I have to agree, but the music makes everything. And I remember, I think Evan mentioned something about how somebody will be talking and then be like, so there's this one scene, and it's Zach and Hugh, Hugh Jackman did it, Zac Efron, and they're like kind of talking, and then it starts going, right here, right now, I'll lay the offer out. They're like, and then it starts into singing. Well, that's my favourite part. That's what I love about music. Think of The Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid's a musical, and it goes, maybe he's right. Maybe there is something the matter with me. I just can't see how a world filled with, look at this stuff, here's an ending. You know, that's what musicals do. They talk, and then I don't like going, oh, there's going to be a song next. I like kind of like, oh, damn, a song. I like that. That's what I love about musicals. And obviously, people have differing opinions. I think this kind of is so much better than La La Land. La La Land, if it was just a movie, I think I would have preferred. The fact that it was kind of be like the greatest musical ever. No. The music for La La Land was weak. I can't remember any song. The only thing I can remember is City of Stars, are they shining just for me? And they're like ba 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 da ba da ba 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 da. That's like all I can think. Like I can remember the tunes. I can't remember any words. So for me, like, the songs are a lot more memorable than La La Land. I don't know. I think it's better than La La Land, personally. The reason I mentioned the music and comparing it to La La Land, it's by the same people who did the music for La La Land did the music for The Greatest Showman. And so that is why. Just go watch it. Formulate your own opinion. Da 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 da. Just Star Wars, The Last Jedi. Damn, Adam Driver, can we just appreciate his pectorals? Bloody hell. Whew. And it kind of didn't answer any questions people had. I think it answered the big question. I think that most people had. But then it answered like 2 of the 10 questions, and then asked about 5 more. So everybody's like, ah! It kind of, I feel, I've only watched it once, and I feel like the second watch would be a lot better, because obviously we've had 2 years to formulate ideas. So your first watch, you're kind of like, oh, but I wanted this to happen. So I feel like the second watch, when you know what's happening, will make it a lot better. My personal opinion. I loved it. It very much felt like, if you compare it to the original trilogies, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. If The Force Awakens is A New Hope, this is definitely Empire. The Last Jedi is definitely Empire. Like, it kind of, I don't like Empire Strikes Back purely because it leaves so many loose ends. Do I love it more than The Force Awakens? No. But it's kind of like, I love A New Hope a lot more than I love Empire. I love Empire, and it's kind of for the same reason. So I loved The Last Jedi. I thought it was amazing. The effects, like people's performances, and it was kind of like the best send-off for Carrie Fisher, I think, ever. She was amazing in it. And what happened in the film, they never changed anything after the passing of Carrie. And it's kind of like beautifully haunting then that this was what was going to happen anyway, and she obviously passed away. It's haunting and heartbreaking for that reason. I do feel though, like with The Last Jedi, there were a lot of scenes that could have just been cut. There was no need for them. It did feel a little bit long for me, but I just love watching Star Wars. I love the ease of getting slotted into a universe that I've literally grown up with. I just love being in that Star Wars universe. It's like a warm blanket, so I just have a good time regardless. So unless Jar Jar Binks involved, then they can go screw themselves. TV shows, I watched a phenomenal Netflix original called Godless. It's a limited series. There's 7 episodes, 7 or 8 episodes. It's great. It's basically a western. It's very slow to start with, and then it does feel really slow to, I would say the first 2 episodes are very slow, and I'm like, oh, why am I watching this? And then like the 3rd episode, that's when Shiz starts to go down. I don't know, it's just really good. It was western, it's like, and it kind of is like the old westerns. Like the old westerns take a really long time to get into the swing of things, and that's what it just felt like. It's really good. It's really great acting. It's just really good. I'm not very good at describing, like, it's really good, guys, just watch it. The next one is Sons of Anarchy. I know I'm very late to the Sons of Anarchy party. I like Charlie Hunnam. I was very aware of Sons of Anarchy. Somebody who, my mum's tattooist, and he's tattooed me too, was a massive fan of Sons of Anarchy, and he was like, you should watch it, and obviously I'm there like, oh, I will eventually, and I did eventually. I held my end of the bargain up. Follows Jax Teller, who is Charlie Hunnam, is in a motorcycle gang, and it's about their dealings and how he's doing bad things for the right reasons. He's doing it so he can get out, so he can be with his family, and it's very much family first, but then the bike club's also his family, and it's kind of his internal struggles with that. I may have mentioned Sons of Anarchy, but I finished it this autumn, winter. The next one is Jane the Virgin. Jane the Virgin, I don't think I've ever mentioned it on a video. I tweet about Jane the Virgin a lot. Jane the Virgin is one of my favourite shows of all time. It is basically a soap opera, but in 1 hour format. Once a week. It's basically on Netflix. My Netflix has strong female leads, which I'm there like, yes, but then they also have soapy TV dramas, and Jane the Virgin is under both of those recommended for me, even though it's on my list. Soapy TV dramas, and I kind of do like that because I don't like soaps in the UK. Not into them, but soapy TV dramas I am into, with strong female leads. That literally came up as a Netflix thing for me. It was like, TV dramas with strong female leads, and I was there like, yes, Netflix, yes, you know me so well. Jane the Virgin is great. It follows Jane Villanueva, who is not a virgin anymore. I haven't watched the series, but she's a virgin. She gets artificially inseminated, accidentally artificially inseminated. She then births a child as a virgin. It's great. She lives with her mum and her nan. It's great. I love it. It gives me all the emotions. I watch sometimes with bated breath and go, no! It is kind of like, what, a telenovela? There we go. It's like a telenovela. And that's how it's kind of meant to be. They have a narrator. He kind of goes, it's like some kind of telenovela. I know, who'd have thought? It's very great. I love it. It is like that kind of bingey, soapy show. It's great. I think it's called something different in the US, this show I'm about to mention, but I can't remember what it is I think it's called The Hunt for the Zodiac Killer in America, but in the UK it was called Zodiac Killer. Case closed. The Zodiac Killer, if you don't know, was a serial killer based in Southern California, or Northern California? In California. In the late 60s. Never ever found out who he is. And this show is basically them trying to solve the Zodiac Killer's infamous Z340, I think it is, cipher, because he was known to leave ciphers and clues, and this cipher is one of the most difficult ciphers in the world. It hasn't been solved. It's been like 50 years and they still haven't caught the guy, and this show is basically them trying to figure out the Z340. It's very interesting. I've literally audibly gasped at some things, some coincidences that happen in the show. I think it's 4 or 5 episodes. And it's very, very recent, like literally up until November 2017, like there was input. So it's really good. If you're into serial killers and true crime, highly recommend. These are my miscellaneous. I'll get one of these. Christmas, lint. Lint is always a favourite of Cara's. I have 2 reindeer there. I have 2 bears. I've also had one of the bigger bears this Christmas season. I love Lindt chocolate. It's just so delicious. I had a Lindt advent calendar. I just love Lindt chocolate. I also love the Lindt chocolate balls. These suckers are like gold. The next was a Christmas present from my auntie. I did ask her to get this book. It's been on my wish list on Amazon ever since I heard about it, which is I think when it was published. I'm a huge fan of animation, if you hadn't guessed, and of beautifully strong women. Did do a video about like my favourite Disney legends as part of Women's History Month. I feel like there may be another video similar to this, because my auntie to get me Ink and Paint, the Women of Walt Disney's animation book. This is a massive book. It's heavy AF. It was meant to be £50. I know it got reduced to like 30 something over Christmas. I don't know how much it is now. I will leave the link below. I've only read like a bit of this book, but I'm just saying it's my favourite because I love Disney animation and I love hearing about strong women who helped Disney become what it was, and this book is filled with it. That you have a foreword, and then there's something by Walt Disney, which is in a magazine from Parents magazine from January 1949. It's What I Know About Girls, and it's basically how Walt was very forward thinking when it came to women, to be fair, like from reading this thing in Parents. Mrs. Disney and I found that treating the girls as individuals and encouraging them to think for themselves was a far more satisfactory way of bringing them up than by trying to regulate every step of their conduct with an elaborate set of rules. It's a great big book, written by Mindy Johnson, 384 pages, there you go. We'll do some beauty, this is the last things. I may have mentioned, when we're in Florida, I get Aussie hairspray. It's arguably one of the best hairsprays I have ever used. You kind of do a few sprays and then it's the freeze one I tend to get. And literally, like for Florida, it's amazing because it, like, my hair does not budge. I get very few wispy bits, and wispy bits are the death of me. Got to be glued blasting freeze hairspray for screaming cold. Alternative if you're into Aussie and you're in, you know, it's a good alternative. It like I used this morning and like my hair's kind of gone soft. It's like I am got little wispy bits. It doesn't keep it frozen for as long. But it's all right. Next, I've got another salt spray. That's because before I went to Disneyland Paris, I went into Boots because I needed to pick up things, and I ran out of something. And there was they had a 3 for 2, and they only had 2 of the thing I needed. And so I was then like scouring for a 3rd thing, and I stumbled across this, which is Catch a Wave by Umberto Giannini. There you go, it looked like that. There we go. Woo! It's coconut oil beach texture spray, mermaid hair in a bottle with nourishing coconut oil and colour protecting UV filters, which also like, wham bam, thank you ma'am. It says beachy texture and volume with a matte finish, built-in UV filters to help protect hair from colour fade, coconut oil to nourish and soften, uplifting bergamot and mandarin fragrance. I don't think it really smells of mandarin or bergamot, but yeah, I used this last night because I washed my hair last night. I only wash my hair twice a week. I only get it wet twice a week, unless I get rained on. England, hello. But this is what it looks like. But I kind of use it because I go several days without washing my hair or getting my hair wet. My hair goes very flat. As somebody with wavy hair, you may like understand my pain on this. My hair goes flat, and as you can tell, like, look how much volume I've got in this. And because it's coconut oil, it's not crispy. You have the volume, it's soft, it doesn't have crispy, it doesn't make your hair crispy. You have still got all that volume though, and your hair's soft because it's got coconut oil in it. So I mean, I'm a big fan. The next and last thing, I only have a small bottle of this because I got it in a little, like, it was I got it from Marks and Spencer because it was in like a little trio of things, and I do like the other two products, but I probably won't buy big versions of them. This is the Pixie Glow Tonic. As you can tell, it's tiny, tiny, tiny. I have very sensitive skin. My skin hates most things, it's fair to say. Any cleanser that I've had in the past doesn't feel like it's doing anything. Like, I use the Garnier micellar water, and like I'll use it to take makeup off and it feels great, but my skin doesn't necessarily feel like super clean and doesn't feel like dirt's coming off of it. With this, like, I used it and like you could see dirt like come out of my skin, which sounds gross. It doesn't make my skin go funny, which I'm like, thank you. It's cruelty free too. It is quite expensive. People had mentioned it before, and the fact it was like 20 quid for a bottle, I was like, no thank you. But after using it, and they're like, I think I will have to pay that much. Somebody with sensitive skin, I can't just use anything. So the fact that I got like a bunch of minis that I could try before I bought a big one for 20 quid, because I can't remember. I think the minis ones were like 3 mini things from Pixie were like 15 quid. So that I've tried that and I know it works. It doesn't turn my skin haywire. It really, really does clean my skin. It's like, yay! Okay, they're my favourites. Got a lot to look forward to this year. Yes, I hope you guys had a brilliant Christmas and New Year, and I will hopefully see you very soon. Thank you very much for watching. Bye!